Cam Jordan went on his podcast this week and talked about the contract that he signed with the Saints. It is a reduction in salary, and he spelled out why he was willing to do it and why he thinks the future will be a little bit brighter. Here's a clip from that show.
While we're in Germany, my agent calls me Friday, was like, hey, we sort of got to get something done. Got to check around the league. If you want to go somewhere, I was like, go somewhere. Look, I was like, if I have to go, I will go. And ranted a little bit. I was like, look, like, I'm still under contract. This is where I should be. My contract says, I got another year on it. So unless they cut me, I'm not leaving, or I'm not taking a pay reduction. And I was like, after talking about it, I'm like, look, I want to win. And at the end of the day, do I really want to go somewhere for the next 2 years, next 3 years? Maybe just this year, like year 15, year 16, year 17. I know after year 17, I'll be fully done. I got 3 years at tops. Like, Calais Campbell probably what, year 17, think about year 18. I'm looking at him, I'm like, salute to him. 17 seems like a long ways away. We're going to take this year by year. So 15, let's figure this out. And it was, where would you see yourself going? I was like, well, nowhere cold. I refuse to go to Cleveland. Cleveland called, I won't answer. And I'm sure they're going to say, we never called. Good God. I can't do it. One game in Cleveland told me I'm not cut out for the snow. But when you think about, the teams available, it's like, oh yeah, I would so leave. But is it worth it? Family loves it here. The community work that I do here has been detrimental. It's a part of me. It's such a big part of me. To walk around in New Orleans and know that you're showing love here, to have the Cam Jordan Foundation take off the way it did this last year, after we changed from God Is Love Foundation, to have been in this community for the last 8-9 years. And we're talking about a reduction in salary. I'm like, man, all right, figure it out, but like, don't take too much. So let me fight some back. And so, the contract is what it is. I mean, you can get the numbers, but you'll figure that out online somewhere. I'm not just going to give it to you. But at the end of the day, this is where I want to be. I've always said I want to win a Super Bowl in the black and gold. So if it ain't Nolan to the black and gold, maybe it's not for me. And you got to realize there's guys that go to different teams and try and win one, go join up with a super team and think they're going to win one and don't. Luckily, it's year 15 for me with the Saints, and we'll see where this goes. I love it for me. I really love it for me. But I'm excited. I mean, of course, Brian Young comes back, and he did a hell of a job taking over from. I almost said Bum Dadada. Guy McGuy, that was a former D coordinator, X's and O's guy. Jack. Oh, just the guy with the pen and somehow an ability to put a pass rush plan together. Anyways, glad we've moved on from that. So BY took over at the end of the year, and I mean, man, brought some fresh air to the defense. I think the first game he really took over, we played Washington. The D-line had like 8 sacks, 7, 8. Maybe the team had 8. We had 6 or 7 out of those. So love to see where that progresses.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that he actually ended up with 4 sacks last year. I would have maybe taken the under off on that, just off the top of my head. Ended up being a little bit more productive at the end of the season. But I think this is something that had to happen. I mean, obviously, I don't think you could bring him back at the salary he was at. That number had to come down. And I'm going to be really, really interested when that number does show up. It has been protected kind of tightly. Been shaking that tree for a few days, and nothing has fallen out yet. But at some point, it will. The contract has to get filed with the league, and at that point, I think we'll end up seeing the number. But what do you expect from Cam coming forward? Can he get back to that? Can he be a 7-sack guy? What do you think he can be?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on situations. I don't know what the exact vision is for this defensive line. We'll find out if they're going to draft another pass rusher. That would still be number 1 on my list for the number 9 pick in the draft, although that's a best player available pick. They don't have to force it. But, I mean, Chase Young is back. Carl Granderson is back. Cam is back. Is Foskey ever going to be a thing? They've added defensive tackles. They have interior linemen now. I mean, as much as Cam has said he wants to be used as a pass rusher and he hated that they moved him to defensive tackle and he only played on rundowns last year, He he seems like maybe he should be an interior lineman in the base packages as a 3-4 end, and then the edge rushers come on the field on pass rushing down. So I don't know exactly what his role is going to be, but I think it can look a lot more like it did in the second half of last season than it did in the first. I mean, he basically was not being used, and I don't think he's talked to Brandon Staley, had good conversations with Brandon Staley. Like, I don't think he would have come back here if they would have said, "Hey, you're just a run defender for the rest of your career." He wants chances to rush a passer. He'll rotate in, but he'll be the third guy at most for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get opportunities if they don't add anybody else to the team because someone has to get the reps. But it will be interesting to see how he's used because he is a really good. He's one of their better run defenders
Yeah.
at that position. So
Yeah.
do you try to get him on the field in those 3-4 fronts as a end, maybe not an
3-4
edge
end,
guy?
yeah.
I don't know how he's going to be used specifically. It's going to be really interesting to kind of see how this evolves and what body types are in there and who's playing where. Is he the edge in that, though, on rundowns? I don't know if he's in those packages or not,
know.
where he's at in this point of his career. So it will be really fascinating.
There is
to
a
kinda
ton of
see how it comes
rotating that
together.
goes on in the NFL. I mean, look at how many snaps Tano Passanio got over his year. Like, and he was the fourth guy. Like, you keep guys fresh. I think they'll give Cam enough edge rushing snaps to keep him engaged. Like, but he will probably be like 70% run defender, 30% edge rushing snaps. Maybe he gets to rush 10 times a game. You know what I mean? Like, but it will not be a primary role for him for sure.
Going to be fascinating to see how that one comes out and to see that contract.
I mean, we also have to acknowledge his absolute, just his filter is off now. Like, as last year went on, the filter was degraded, and now he's just openly taking those shots at Todd Grantham, which is just wild. So
he was doing it last year too in the locker room. Yeah,
these ones were pretty hilarious. The Jag coach, as he called him. But look, I mean, it is a reminder that Cam, and this was under Dennis Allen as well, who obviously he's had his best years under too. But like the first 12 weeks of last season were a lost 12 weeks for Cam Jordan, or 10 weeks or whatever it was. So just the fact that they made that change alone, there should be a tiny bit of rejuvenation. Like I say, I think it'll probably look like it looked like the last month and a half of last season.
The last two seasons were really kind of last year's for him. 6 sacks total over the last 2 seasons. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that comes together, what the contract looks like. And once we have those details, keep it locked to NewOrleans.Football. We'll let you know what it means.